Hello and welcome to round 3 of Adelaide Super League 15, brought to you by Peak Performance and Double Happiness, as well as ULTI.TV. Today we've got the end of the first round robin series round. There are 3 rounds in the competition this year, and this round, this game, this match pits East Adelaide Force, which, yes, in black, sorry, my mistake, versus Southside Riptide in blue. And we have a bit of a wind coming from right to left of screen. My name is Phil Shields, and I'm joined in the commentary booth by John Perkins. How are you doing today, John?
I'm going good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, man.
Just got here in time.
I thought you'd been here for ages, mate. So we've got the intros over. I said, actually, that wind is really picking up now. The last couple of weeks we've had a bit of a breeze, but nothing as strong as this, I believe. Definitely a right to left wind.
Yes, which will mean we might see some zone tonight of different sorts. We might see some arrowhead. We might see some pommy. I think zone will probably, whoever plays better through the zone, I think will play a big part tonight, especially if this wind keeps up.
Absolutely. And I suspect left of screen will be the scoring end, basically. And with teams this tight and this close in their matchups, given, remember, this Super League was actually a draft pick. It was a snake draft format, and so the higher the players picked, the better they are. And it snaked around, so we've got meant to be. It's up to the captains really to decide that, isn't it? Who they want.
Yes.
And the captains tonight, we have Fowler in black, who is present, and we also have Sean Lace, who is also present on blue.
Difference is Sean Lace is playing, and Fowler is there with his words of wisdom and motivation. Is he
going to play, do you know, eventually? No. Okay, so Joel Pillar-Rogers will probably be the other sort of standing captain.
Pretty much.
Occasionally. Last week, he played very well, but had a bit of a meltdown, I think, at the end there. Just so like, he's a player who demands the best of himself and also from his players, and sometimes he can get in his own head and be his own worst enemy. But over the years, he has developed that, and he is getting a whole lot better for that. But still look out for him as a potent force on this East Adelaide Force team.
Joel Pillar is still arguably the best player in Adelaide.
When he plays at the top level, he knows he can. Absolutely, yes.
Yes, and it's because he can do everything.
He can. Started off as a young teenager, really one of the first players here in Adelaide to bring Ultimate to Adelaide in South Australia. Picked for the Australian world team as well, and so he's got a long, well-established, proud history of Ultimate.
And we're away. It's a bit of a short pull, some might say.
Remembering the wind is, they're pulling into the wind. Trademark floater over the top by Joel.
I mean, when you're a person that size, it does help a lot.
So Kaido Foster getting the first receiving touch of the game, and now we're well underway as Ogden puts a bit of a floater. Trying to beat them all.
Much.
Yeah. And back in the end zone line, beating everyone there, especially Keith Chow, who is on the receiving end of that put by Ogden.
I think that went out the back, so bit tough either way.
Yeah, not taking into account that breeze, I think. He did put a bit of that upper edge up to try and decrease the amount of push that the wind was giving it, but unfortunately, probably about 2 to 3 metres out in the end.
All right, here we go. We see some upwind offense now. Force have decided to stick with the typical man. We'll see how long that lasts.
Now, Andy Baddocks often does give and goes. We'll see what he does here going upwind. He'll want a bit back. That was over everyone's head. Easy D by Foley. 3 points to him. Gives to Ogden.
I love the fact that getting Ds is worth the most. Oh, that was a good cut there.
Actually have a comment on that. I think 3 points is good, but you should only get the 3 points if your team doesn't turn it over again, because it's that you get the 3 points because of the potential to score. If you're not going to score off of that, then I'm not too sure if it's worth the 3. Meanwhile,
Force are actually looking quite tight here. Some good defense though. Sammy to Johnny.
Classic, classic, classic. We mentioned this last week with Ogden to Pillar Rogers, and back in the day it used to be the other way around, Pillar Rogers to Ogden. So Pillar Rogers taking a role in the end zone to catch one.
Yes, well, what actually Force really did well is they probably started a little bit messy in their stack there. They were a bit all over the place, the end zone, too many people cutting, but they redefined it, came back into the centre, and then just made sure that one person cut.
That's
and
right.
cut hard and then cut back. Just created a bit more space for everyone else.
So East Adelaide Force open their account, One Love.
All right.
As we mentioned at the beginning, we believe the left-hand side of screen will be the scoring end. Let's see if this stays the way. Let's see if Joel, who's got the pulling duties for black, whether he can pull it a bit more than the three-quarter way mark that the blue team did.
Yes. I think there'll be a fair few rollers tonight if they start to really struggle.
Yeah, they just got to be careful it doesn't roll back with this wind. It could turn sour on them, so they really got to make sure it does go out the sideline far up the field.
Yeah. Be interesting to see actually how Force approaches. One thing that I think they probably weren't happy with themselves is their defense last week. I felt like, I think it was West Adelaide they played. They played West Adelaide.
We had, let me just check my notes here.
West Adelaide, I'm pretty sure. And
East Adelaide Force, West Beach Titans, yes.
West Beach Titans, yeah, the West Beach Titans. I think they probably let them get away with way too much to what that you would want.
That's right. West Beach Titans, of course, winning that match 13-10. Baddocks, taking into account the wind that time, Deng on the receiving end doesn't read that at all, and I've seen that a couple of times over the last few weeks. A bit disappointing from him. He'll be in his head about that. He knows he should have got that, and so does Andy.
Yes, but it's all right. Just reset, readjust. They've got now East Adelaide have a chance, but they're going upwind. This is a chance to really set your tone of how you want to play defense.
Absolutely.
If East Adelaide work it out pretty quickly, you'll feel pretty bad about what's going on.
So danger territory here. Don't want to see a Callahan. That'll really put a black on in their heads. And we saw that one already, didn't we? Foster, yeah, brings it down. Small in stature, but he rises to the occasion when he goes for those big ones.
Yep. Just need to be a bit patient now.
Now they've got a lot of good flow here now. Strawn with a disc second time in this point.
Oh.
Pillar Rogers. Oh no, that's Ogden. Sorry.
Ogden not quite reading that one. That's all right.
Now again, I think I've seen him do that in the last couple of weeks. A couple of times he's sold the disc before he's actually bought it. So we'll see how he develops over this tournament.
It's his signature one-handed grab, I like to call it. I've seen it playing a couple of state leagues with him. He really likes to just stick out the one hand, go with the disc. Oh, that's a great pass there by Lace. It has really opened up the field. Bad luck.
Again, this wind really wreaking havoc with the players' reads, isn't it?
Yes, they've just got to take a little extra second about working out where the disc is, rather than just trying to rush their throws and rush their catches. They're running wind again, taking the disc further than they would think. Here we go, nice good dump. Just need to really... Southside have really put a lot of pressure on East Adelaide.
Now, flicks need to stay low to the ground if they're going to players that are running in. We've seen it twice already going upwind. How a flick slightly high. Lace read that.
He's like, thank you very much, that's a foul.
And he called that on himself. Lovely work by Mining Borg. Nice spirit.
That is a great spirit. You like to see that. One of the pleasures of playing Ultimate is when good spirit happens. Southside really want to try and get this in. Beautiful.
And they do. So Baddocks to Edgeworth.
That's what you like to see. Nice. Again, Southside have had the right idea. I think they've just, when they've cut, they've not read where the wind's going. Or their throwers, when you're going downwind, the key to going downwind when you're throwing is you've got to throw to the receiver. You can't throw floaty ones into the receiver running, because the wind will just keep pushing and pushing, and it'll just get further and further away from the receiver.
Yes.
All right.
And of course, tonight's live broadcast on ULTI.TV on your YouTube channel. And if you are watching, please tell your friends, message, DM them, let them know that it's on, something live here in Adelaide. We've got really good weather here. It's brought to you by ULTI.TV, and we really thank them for the partnership in this broadcast.
Yeah, and also we've got other sponsors like Peak and DH who have brought these beautiful shirts out. This is the first week they've been shown.
Absolutely, I was going to mention that. Thank you for bringing that up. So those regular viewers of ours will notice that this week we've got all our players on each team look very, very similar, thanks to the beautiful work of Double Happiness that supply a lot of ultimate gear around the world. They've got 20% off at the moment for World Ultimate Juniors and Clubs merch gear if you're in those clubs and you're wanting jerseys or other paraphernalia. Otherwise, there's a 10% normal discount that you get, I believe.
Yes, but oh man, I really do actually really like the shirts. All right, back to the Frisbee.
Oh, we can talk shirts.
Oh, we could keep talking shirts.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is going to get interesting again. I think tonight will be very interesting to see how the offenses really get going.
Yeah, and we've got match at the moment, so it's probably not surprising downwind. Maybe a deep poach might be nice. There needs to be at least a deep recognition if someone goes free deep.
They need to really, they can be aggressive.
Strawn's going deep. Waves it off.
Baddock's read it pretty
Mining
well.
Borg.
Dog on the field, but being ignored. It's gone off. All right.
Ogden, what will he do this time? Will he
Oh,
unleash
he's
that
looking at the
hammer? He
hammer.
wants it.
Oh, beautiful pass. Got around the mark really well there. Cutter's coming across. Oh, push and go. Oh, that's really good offense there.
As we said, that trademark over the top by Pillar Rogers.
Oh, no.
And unhappy with himself on that one. Thinks about something in his head.
All good. Just a miscommunication, you know. It happens from time to time.
I really feel Pillar Rogers was way too close to the play with the disc then.
Oh, that's beautiful communication there.
Warren White, pick number 1 for the blue team.
Has been quiet at the start of the game, but, you know, not needed yet. Oh, that's a great pass by Scary Mackenzie. Oh.
Mackenzie
Oh.
will tow it in
yes.
easily.
And that's a break.
Yes, upwinder.
Upwind break.
Well, is that a telltale sign or what? Does that mean Blue are going to take it away? Because that was a fairly easy upwinder.
Yeah, that didn't look the hardest upwinder I've ever seen played.
No, and like I said, the wind here, if we had some flags, you'd actually see them in the breeze flapping around quite significantly. That is how strong it is. It's not gale force, but it's definitely not a zephyr either.
No, you've definitely got to check your throws a lot in this wind.
Let's talk uniforms. We're looking at the blue uniform as Ryan Smith walks and parades it past us. Nice wavy lines on it, dark blue top, light blue down the bottom.
I actually really like it. I like the way that uniform's designed. I think I like the 2 shades of blue actually.
It does look good, and it really doesn't matter what team you play against then. You know it's the blue team. If you're playing against a darker team, you look at the lighter colour. If you're playing against a lighter team, you look at the darker colour on top. But it's all a nice blue that you can see there, and the numbers prominent on them as well.
Which I think is really important. And then you got the black one, which I think has something on it. I'm not sure. I can't see if it's got like a lighter black with like a lightning or something, or a force on it.
It does look like there could be something very subtle within that black.
Yes, but I do like the black. I do like the plain black from here. It makes it really clear who's on whose team. I think sometimes when you do these like league things, you can get a bit confused with the colours, but it's really clear that this is one colour and this is the other.
Now, speaking of clarity, the front numbers are very clear, but the back sort of like little bit of a lightning motif going on there, would you say? What is it?
I would say that's a bit of lightning.
Yes, maybe to do with the force. I don't know, like strike force. I don't know.
It might be a bit like the Atlanta chain lightning. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Not quite the normal lightning. All right, here we go. We got a downwind pull, so this could travel very far.
And it has.
And
Fowler opted to let that go rather than try and touch it and take it from the back of the end zone.
That is still going on the other oval. That has gone a very long way.
Yeah, that's right down at West Beach at the moment.
I mean, tell you what, the wind's going that direction, you know. Good travel there.
We've got 2 games tonight. The other two teams are Northern Flyers and the West Beach Titans. We're seeing them in the later time slot, so stay with us, and we look forward to seeing what Double Happiness has done with their uniforms. Actually, was it Double Happiness that designed them? Do you know?
I think
Do you have any
so.
inside goss on that?
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it was.
So they've done a good job.
I'm a big fan. As I said, I love the idea of the uniforms. Here it is. Yeah, it was Double Happiness. You are correct.
Yeah.
Oh, what a pass by Keith, actually.
That was really nice. Low to the ground, which it needed to be. We've mentioned that before with the wind. If you're going to lift it up, then you are going to get it over the top of players' heads. Bit of controversy there.
That's right.
As who do we have there?
That's
Everonadis and Meinenberg, the slight collision. No injury, though.
Which is important.
Foley saying, what is happening? Everyone's just static.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Ogden puts his body on the line. Bit of a dropout rather than a layup, but that's okay.
Sammy looking long. Oh,
that one,
geez.
fingertips, just pulls that up off the ground right in front of the central commentary position here. We can see that.
That was very close. I wouldn't surprise me if someone called that down, actually.
Yeah, Meinenberg really read that one well. It was rising. It was a hard ankle as well. Now, this is what we were talking about before. We're going to have to come back. It's going to go. And Lace, lovely work in boxing out, Foley.
All right, here we go.
Sanderson's going, but he doesn't see him. Chow is way off of him.
Still going, still moving well.
Now Sanderson's free. Chow's really giving Sanderson a lot of leeway here.
There is a lot of unders happening right now. And that is a score.
Did I mention the word Sanderson before?
Yes, you did.
So
he was running free a lot there.
Warren White to Sanderson, the 2 old men of the team, the stalwarts, the well-respected players here in the South Australian Ultimate community, showing these youngsters how it's done. And as we said before, with Blue taking the upwind, is this a sign of things to come? They've now got 3 on the trot.
Oh, yes. Forced, called a timeout, gather things together just to think over things and just regather their thoughts. They've got time. But really, that was a beautiful box out.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back. Right. So we've just had a timeout here called by East Adelaide Force, who have given up 3 points in a row to Southside Riptide. So Powley's just letting his players know to put more energy in. They need to give more. They're giving up too much ground by not putting in enough.
And he was just talking about offenses, that give and go. You just need to work out, get the disc moving. When they're stuck in a position, they're not moving the disc very well. And you need to constantly just keep flow.
Yeah. The one thing he hasn't mentioned is keeping the disc low, which I think is also a very important point he needs to make to his team, because that is the way we've had all 3 turnovers so far.
Or even when they're going upwind, you know, just remember where you're holding the disc, and if you're going with the wind, it carries the disc. You cannot throw it too low because it will just die into the ground.
You can't throw it into the ground, absolutely, but as we know, the wind is sort of has less of an effect at the ground level. So it's just to be straight, absolutely, but as soon as you give it a little bit of upward momentum, the wind is going to get underneath it, lift it, as we've seen already.
Yeah. So good. Just take their time. I believe Black will readjust here really, really well. Just get a feeling. It's all about feel.
Yeah, now talking about feeling, look at the expressions on the faces of the Riptide, the blue players left the screen. When they walked on the line, maybe not so much now, but they had big smiles on their faces. In contrast, looking at the Force Black to the right of screen, more solemn, more introspective, I think. You can see them sort of like thinking about what they need to do to get these first 2 points back to make it even.
Well, East Adelaide have a lot of experience, so I'm pretty sure they're not too worried at this point in time. Have a lot of experience to set themselves up here to really dig in.
Absolutely. Early days yet.
Frisbee's a long game. 90
minutes are these games, just as a reminder to our players and viewers at home.
Yes. All right, here we go. What have East Adelaide cooked up in this timeout? We haven't seen a zone yet either. I might point that out.
No, I agree with you there. I was interested that, like I said before, there wasn't maybe a deep poach and an under poach, which would be maybe a first sort of tactic to use as a simple tactic. Rodriguez with the disc. New player to Adelaide.
Oh.
Sang doing great work there. Look at that pressure that Deng put on the player, Pillar Rogers. All over him, didn't let him come through. Hands up.
That's a big mark Greg's got there.
Might have to put that.
Oh no, found a hole.
That was way too easy to let him get out of jail there. Edgeworth again with the disc.
And he's just cutting free there.
What is Schrader doing?
All right, a lot of pressure there by Foster.
Malhotra. I still like to see you catch those Ds, Mr. Foley.
Oh, that could have gone very badly.
It could have, but luckily it didn't.
All right. What I actually really like Southside's play so far is they're using the whole width of the field. They're not really sticking to the middle or a little bit. They're using the whole width. The way they're swinging that disc is really, really aggressive.
And to add to that, they're not getting stuck on the sideline when they use the width.
Oh.
Sang with his second domination over Pillar Rogers.
2 in a row. This is a big chance here.
Edgeworth sticks out the left arm.
Swung it quickly.
Oh, Foster almost in there with a hand this time.
Oh, that was close there. That was
Baddock's
really
using
good
a lot of body there to get around Foster.
Oh,
don't use the granddad. Don't want to use the grandpa pass.
They're holding here.
Miningberg all over Smith.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, look at, did you see that hip and shoulder Baddock's put into Foster at the end there?
Just really
look at the replay. Look at the replay here. Just there.
Oh.
Puts his elbow out. Just let him know that we are playing Super League. This is a non-contact sport, just like basketball is, but at the top level like we're playing here, a little bit of push and shove is acceptable, but these boys need to work out what is acceptable with their foul calls.
Yes, just being aware that. Oh, saying again, so close. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he started a step. He stopped for a second. Mackenzie gets in the way.
Mackenzie, beautiful D there from Mackenzie.
Let's look at that again on our replay brought to you by ULTI.TV. Look at that positioning. Mackenzie just skirts around, gets to the front position, jumps up, and Miningborg didn't have a chance.
Oh, that was beautiful. Very well done there by Mackenzie. That's that's some great class defense. That's what you want to see. Southside have got the momentum going.
And what I liked before, actually, a bit of play to the right of screen was when Mackenzie threw to Edgeworth. And, of course, they've both been in a bit of a serious accident a couple of months back. But their recovery seems to be doing well and not hindering them too much on the ultimate field.
Yes, it's great to see them both playing again.
Has some horrendous injuries.
That's a Callahan.
Callahan by Schrader. Baddock's is not happy about that one. He'll be in his head.
Oh, that's a momentum swinger. If I've ever seen something that can swing a game, it would be a Callahan.
Yes.
And we've got to cheer from sideline because someone's clearly Captain
Here we
Schroeder.
go again. And there it is. There it is, right there.
I just read it perfectly. That could be a big momentum swinger there.
Absolutely. So we were just putting the boot in on Schrader up the other end by being a bit too far off his man, but paid off this time, being not so close on the defence that he was able to peel off, read the play and get the point. So East Adelaide Force 2, Southside Riptide 3.
And that was a hold. After all that, it was a hold. So East Adelaide now really, I think it's really important to get a break here. They've got momentum going. Imagine if they get a break here, they really just dig in.
I'm imagining it right now.
Yeah. This could be a big swing here. It could start a lot. So East Adelaide, no, I reckon Joel knows this moment, how big this moment is. You know, you've got a Callaghan, you don't want to let them think they can just roll over and get some momentum back.
And all of a sudden, like I really like noticing the posture of the players, and Blue now looking a little bit dejected. I mean, they won't be totally, but just the looks, the vibe of it is that the momentum has swung, and Black are a lot happier now.
All right. Joel Pillar Rogers on the pull here.
Gives it some height. That's probably not what he wanted so much. It's going to fade out to the top of the screen.
Yep, then that's a brick. Well, defense now has time set up. You have...
Like we're going match.
Yeah. Looks like we have Ben Foley and Greg Schroeder on the handlers of Baddix and Lace.
As Lace picks up the disc.
Yes. There's some big handler marks there.
I like these matchups.
I do. Oh, that was
nice
close.
Placement of the foot by Warren White.
Oh, it's too much. Bit too much.
A little bit too much chili sauce on that swing.
Right idea, though. All right, here we go. East Adelaide have a chance. Let's see if they've learned from their mistakes the past few points throwing upwind. Oh.
Almost a peel off there by Edgeworth to get a D. That was a bit of a wobbly one by Schrader.
Bet, you know. Still got it.
Strawn, nice low disc.
It's beautiful. He's a much better passes here from Force. They're throwing in a much lower.
Red zone.
Whoop.
Blade, I'm not too sure about the option.
Well, it works.
It works.
You know, sometimes it isn't about how great it looks.
It's how effective it is.
How effective it is. And Blades, you know, end zone.
Could not agree more, Mr. Perkins.
You can
We'll
get
see
worried.
it again here on the replay.
Just
Ogden pulls out, I think, and then Schrader comes up and little, very little blade.
That is the straightest blade. I mean, I guess if you want to cut through the wind and not have any wind issues, you know, that's one way to win.
I'd call that a baby blade, actually. It's just with the height as much as anything. It was just like, whoop, over the top. But the outstretched hand, again, just like a baby sort of catch, really. It wasn't anything, you know, super looking, but effective, as you said.
It's like when you have the sideline, you're just practicing catching the disc. You want to make it hard.
You do with these silly throws.
It was silly throws.
Yeah.
That is basically what happened there.
That's exactly what happened.
All right, here we go. See, Force, I said they're going to get the break.
Yeah.
And now, wait, there were 2 breaks down. So, this momentum, they're feeling confident. And now, Southside have to set themselves up to score up wind now.
Absolutely. And as approaching the 30-minute 30-minute mark, scores are tied up 3 apiece, on average 5 minutes a point.
Yeah. There's a long points, but, you know, when you have an upwind, downwind, that's not surprising.
We did have a timeout in there as well, though.
That is true. It's also a good point to make. All right. Sammy Ogden on the pool this time. Oh, he's got a good spin on that one. They need to get down. Oh, that
goodish
works.
put. Goodish, but Ogden all over that with looking around. We've got Meinenborg over here asking for the disc.
Just need to set themselves up here in a...
Oh, we've seen that before.
No.
Oh, Sanderson. I didn't think he was going to get that. I thought it was going to go over his head.
All right, here we go.
Sanderson showing the junior over an artist how it's done.
Oh, and that's beautifully placed. Oh,
But
it's travel. Is it travel call?
Baddocks to Dang, but that'll be coming back. Ogden explaining the situation. Baddocks not happy with it.
It's all right. Just repeat the same throw and just assert dominance.
Absolutely. A better throw this time.
Even better. He doesn't have to jump for it.
That's 2 upwinders by Riptide.
Yes, it
See
is.
that again here on the screen. A much better throw there.
So comfy. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh,
Powley's laying into his team.
as a good coach should. I only heard it from the other day that, you know, if someone's getting angry at their players, it should always be the coach.
And probably rightly so. I mean, at this level, he rightfully should be demanding more from them. There should have been better recognition that Dang was free there and not allow such an easy replay of the point before, which was called back.
Exactly. They had time. They knew exactly where it was going to go. At least try and make him throw something different.
There could have been a poach from one of the defenders in the deep. There could have been a quick strike from the mark, in that case Ogden. But Baddocks really just allowed to step out wide, easy backhand throw into the wind.
Yes. And, you know, in this wind, you know, you'd rather throw a backhand than a flick.
Absolutely.
As shown by East Adelaide a couple of times there. All right, here we go. Nunu on the pull. I think Nunu's actually one of the better pullers in SA.
Shantanuma Hotra, absolutely.
So I reckon this is going to get some good airtime on it.
I think it's going to be a bit of a roller, actually.
I think you're more right.
Oh, it's going to be a bounce roller. There's the slight bounce anyway.
What do you reckon's worse, fielding a bounce roller or a roller?
It really depends whether it rolls or not, because as soon as it's in the air, sometimes the wind grabs hold of it, and that's when sort of like your hand-eye coordination skills really come into the mix of things.
Oh.
Do you see that out of the hand, that flick?
What?
Straight as an arrow. Pillar Rogers back on the team, back in force, showing dominance straight away, what he wants from his team, responding to Powley's calls before.
That's just peak.
That's
Pillar Rogers right there.
Outstanding.
That's...
See it again. Straight as an arrow. Pinpoint perfect.
Oh,
Foley doesn't disappoint with the grab.
Foley. Super consistent. That's one person you like throwing to there, Foley. He's got long limbs.
So for all our fantasy players out there who were disappointed in Pillar Rogers the last couple of weeks, you may be disappointed this week having dropped him from your team now, and he might be scoring some stats. He had got a point early on. He's got 2 for the assist there. That's 3 to start off with. He did have 1 throwaway. No, he didn't have a throwaway at the top.
I think he might have had drop. No. That was the same block, not drop.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's
had any mishaps.
No. Yes. Well, you know, I've heard a lot about Pillar Rogers in the past. He's a 10 throwaway, 10 assist type guy.
Yes. Well, it adds up to plus 10 if that's the case.
Exactly. You'd rather that than nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Again, Ogden, Pillar Rogers choosing not to do pulling duties. I take it that means he's coming down on the mark.
Now this downwind one, this is where I'd like to see that roll. A really big outside in, or it doesn't really matter if it's a backhand outside in or a forehand outside in. I'd really like to see something higher. I'd like to see something rolling, hard to catch, maybe touching a hand and rolling out the back, creating a Callahan opportunity.
Yeah, or even just hard to stop rolling in general.
Yeah.
If it rolls out the back and no one touches it, you know, you take that. Or
Close.
Oh, that's
Outside in.
Oh, that's good. Well done, Baddocks.
Nice.
That was a great grab by Baddocks there.
A little bit of a high one there. Like I said, I just want the disc a lot lower to the ground so the wind doesn't get an opportunity to take them. That's going to be, yeah.
Oh, wait.
There's a sorry from Ogden on the mark there, number 14 in black.
As a mark, sometimes that just happens. You just go around and think, trying to get the hand block, and thrower's arm's already there. Oh.
That was behind the player. Again, the matchup from Mackenzie to Edgeworth, not working this time. There's a trademark over the top we spoke about. Warren White all over that. Sticks out a hand by Pillar Rogers. Crossfield. Meinenberg. Willigby over that. Lays. Yes, he picks it up.
Great.
Stumbles, trips,
and
but
as you were saying about Pillar Rogers and Fantasy there.
Yeah. Another couple on the board.
Those who dropped Rogers are now really regretting it there.
You see that on the replay here. Up the line. And that's actually quite a nice backhand by Schrader.
Just puts Pillar Rogers in a really good position to really kind of just throw it where he wants in the end zone for about 2 seconds there.
Look, Meinenberg's positioning there was he had to turn around, and but he did keep his eyes on the disc, kept tracking it, kept focus. He didn't turn his back to the disc, and that's what allowed him to, even though while he was tripping over his feet a little bit, allowed him to follow it to the ground and then do that last-minute layout to catch it. We've got Deng in front of us on the floor, on the ground, absolutely exhausted after those superhuman efforts on Pillar Rogers to lock him out of that point which he excelled at.
And I think this is his first point off as well. Just suck them in. All right, well, I think, what's the score now?
Nice tight game, Force 5, Riptide 4.
So we're actually back on original.
On serve.
On serve here, which is very exciting. East Adelaide have really, since that timeout actually, it was a really good timeout call, you might look back and say.
Yeah, I mean, historically, as we know, teams that call the timeout rarely sort of like get what they want from that timeout. But I think last week we saw a timeout and it worked, and it could have been by this Force team. I can't remember. I'd have to go back into the archive to look at that one. Now, Pillar Rogers, another high one, but this time coming back another 10, maybe, ending up at the same position. Same position.
Almost halfway in the field.
Bit over.
Oh,
so
great.
Nice pass to Sanderson in the end there by Baddocks.
Understand. Mackenzie's free.
Smith to Edgeworth. Rodriguez comes to the mark. That's a big one.
Oh.
Now, Baddocks read it correctly. And Chow's on the ground pointing to the sideline, indicating that he feels that Baddocks caught it out.
But he might have been, this is a rule in ultimate.
The replay.
Did he get forced out? Ooh.
I don't think he got forced out. It's very hard to see here where that black line is.
Turn. It's one of those really tight ones. It's an ultimate rule I learned to ultimate, that if someone forces you out, I think last Super League actually.
So you can call a force out foul.
All right.
Mackenzie, another great read. Gets in front of his player. That's 2 for the match. That's another 3 points racked up to him. Want him on your fantasy team.
Yes, you'll be enjoying that right now.
Now Scott Mackenzie's actually a reserve player standing in tonight.
Oh.
Is he going to get an extra one on the back of that? And he jumps early, catches it on the way down, There's 4 points straight away for Mr. McKenzie. Did you know he was coming back tonight? I didn't, but if you did and put him on your fantasy team, you'd be so happy about that.
Yes. That was a great throw by Johnny Warren White there. Oh, just Johnny's Warren White's backhand is so deadly. Do you not want to underestimate that backhand? No matter the wind, no matter if there's no wind, if there's also wind, you do not let Johnny Warren White wind up that backhand because it is deadly. All right, here we go, 5-5.
Malhotra with the pull. Just practicing his run-up and his style there.
So really make the most of this one.
So another 10 minutes have passed, but we've got 4 points more on the board in cumulative. So points occurring a lot faster now, on average every 2.5 minutes.
All right. Let's go. East Adelaide receiving the pull. I reckon East Adelaide pull back quite a bit. East Adelaide. Ben Powley chatting to the commentators as he normally does. We're a slow team. I think you're a wise team. You're a long game team.
Mr. Powley just saying they're a bit of a slow burn.
But they're the deadliest players, Bill.
Oh, they are.
Do you know what East Adelaide remind me of? The old Outbreak team. Almost calmer. Outbreak.
Everyone artist just going long.
He's got
read that, please. Read that.
Oh.
It does. Who threw that? Was that Dogden?
Yep, that was Ogden.
End zone to end zone stuff. I was watching Everett Artist then as he was running long. I don't know if we'll get him on this, but you can see him here, just left a screen. He's going. Malhotra gives up just about here. Everett Artist almost gives up, but he sees the disc put up and he has to keep going. It's over his shoulder. He's looking left, right, over his shoulder, reaches out and gets the grab.
Oh, dear.
I actually thought Everett Artist was going to die sort of like short of breath before he'd catch that, but superhuman effort still to put that in.
That is, oh. That was fun. I mean, that was pretty well done by Nick there and Everardis to work out which way the disc going, because normally if you turn your head back and you have to keep running or you turn it twice, you're going to miss it.
Absolutely. So think about rule of thirds there. Do you want to explain that to players?
Rule of thirds. All the players are watching. Normally you want to try and throw in another third that you receive the disc. So for instance, if there's 3 thirds, there's the middle and then there's the right and the left. And now if you draw a line straight down the field, it splits up to the thirds. Normally when you're throwing, you don't want to throw in the same third because that's the hardest, that's the smallest gap the receiver has trying to get it.
Which is what we saw just then.
Exactly, which is why Everardis had to go left, right, just work out where the disc was. So normally you want a bit of curve so the receiver can run onto the disc. And it's also the easiest to keep boxed out.
Yeah. Keep track of as well, yeah. Wind picks up for Rodriguez to pull. It's a bit lower. That'll land, it'll roll around a little bit, but that's basically where it stays, where it drops.
Really want to force this backhand. Oh. There's one to reset here. Oh. Just want to try and get off this sideline, you know, especially if you're going with the wood. Oh, lovely.
Hotra almost getting the D with a foot block there.
He's got time.
Wind is picking up significantly here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a turn. Something into the air.
Especially, that was a really good breakthrough there.
Now there's the one I was talking about that's in the air. Sean Lace. Yeah, just held up in the wind. That's what I expected. Sean Lace getting the better read and better positioning.
All right.
Edgeworth is going.
Good.
It's not coming.
Baddix takes the safer option. Don't want to let him have that back hard space. Chiiche. Oh.
Strawn letting Baddocks back into that play.
Lace read that perfectly. Or
That's 2 for Edgeworth. Not going to be happy. One of his shoulders affecting his chest, his ribs. The last couple of weeks he's been looking good, but he's now dropped 2 in a row. What are your thoughts?
I think it might be the wind. The disc might be coming a bit quicker to him than he thinks. Especially when you're getting the nice flat ones. If someone throwing it flat to you in this wind, it will travel a lot quicker than what you would normally expect. And
I love the effort Deng put in then.
Yeah, he actually got really high.
Got airborne.
He got airborne there, and I think he got really close to that disc. Put a lot of pressure on Chow to really grab that disc.
Yeah, Foley to Chow there. You don't see that pairing thrower to receiver often. This time it worked. And we'll just go to a break now as East Adelaide 4-7, South Riptide 5.
Nova Scotia Electric, become a member.
Yeah. So I did turn it more to me. That's fine. And we're back. Apologies there for a little bit of comms break there. But we're back now after that timeout. And Riptide would have called that one.
All right. All right. So I think Johnny's actually leading the Southside chat there. Just giving his piece of advice, you know, as the Outbreak Div 1 coach, he understands that, you know, he's been talking to us about these holes. You get dug into holes, and the teams, generally the top teams, work out how to dig themselves out of the holes the fastest. And that's probably what he's saying to the side. Why Ben's a bit more mature talk, I would say. You know, just telling everyone, putting emphasis on words. Just trying to get everyone motivated and going, because, you know, East Adelaide certainly have the momentum going for them at the moment. They're really travelling. They're moving really, really well. Although I'm still a bit skeptical about them into the wind. I think they've still, you know, really struggled to throw their flicks into the wind. And I think Southside can really take advantage of that if they're there.
Yeah. So short, sharp and shiny by the Force on their cheer as Fowler leads them into this 13th point at the 48-minute mark of the game.
All right. So we have a Artwin point. This is actually if Force get this, we go to half. So this is quite a big one. You know, they've got a nice break. There's a chance for Force. As I said, I think Southside called timeout. I assume they did.
Yeah, you'd have to. I didn't see that myself, but you'd have to assume that for sure.
Yeah. So it's a big one here for Force. You know, if they take this, you know, Southside have had the break. Are like, oh, we've got another break. 3-gen. Really think about this. And I think Southside here, I think the biggest thing they've struggled with is missed opportunities. I think they've probably had nearly as many chances to take breaks as Force, but I think they've just slightly wasted in execution errors.
Yeah, absolutely. And watch them here. They'll want to treasure this disc. And if they turn it over, you watch their reactions. Will they just sort of like hang their heads, or will they come back into action and try and get the D to get it back? That's what I'm interested in seeing.
Yes, 100%.
It's a good pull.
That is a great pull. That's what you want.
Baddocks did catch that nicely.
He's got some momentum going. That's the type pull that Force would have definitely wanted. Oh.
Already at the halfway mark.
Oh.
And that's a pull by Championship. Oh, he lay.
Oh.
There's that turn and almost going long.
Injury.
Yeah, that's the hand. I was wondering about that when he put his hand out, whether that would affect. That's his hand that he injured.
Injured blue.
And just letting our viewers know, a couple of months ago, that hand was torn literally in half. Luckily, no major nerves or blood arteries were made, but still, if you saw the wreck that hand was, I would not be surprised for seeing that reaction from Mackenzie after that layout.
No. Just didn't quite land how you would want to land with a layout. Normally you want to try and,
I think he was definitely thinking of the hand. You could see in the layout that he was actually doing a textbook layout until the landing. Then you could sort of like see he was thinking about the hand straight away.
Just, oh.
Whoa. I thought Foster was going to throw that one away, but no. Foster
moving it. Foster's actually playing a really good game today. I've noticed the way he's moving. Oh, too much on the disc.
Miningborg overcooks that to Rodriguez.
As I said, throwing in the same third.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's 5 meters from the end zone or 20. It's arguably the hardest throw to execute in ultimate.
Absolutely.
Especially with the wind.
Now, the only time you can throw to the same third is if the disc leaves the third and comes back into it. That is, it has a lot of angle on it. That way the player can look over the shoulder. That's the only exception to the rule.
Yes. All right, here we go.
Riptide with a second chance now. Sanderson.
Doesn't want the around.
So I can tell you what, Black are giving up on all the deep cuts by Blue at the moment because they know that with this wind,
they can actually put themselves in position of being. They can be about 2 or 3 meters behind, and they can put themselves in position to get the D.
Cleverly poaches the lane, forcing a backward throw to Andy Baddocks.
They're going the middle. Oh, they're really attacking that angle.
Still in the air. Sanderson, I felt, sort of gave up a little bit too early on that one. Had a little bit of a look, but didn't realise how much that would hang. Might have just got away from him in the end, but it was a good look. But just Sanderson not 100% this week. Last week he was out for the majority of the match, played the first few points and played the last couple. But still something's niggling him, you can tell.
Yes. Just didn't... I think he looked to see if one of his teammates was in a better position.
Yeah.
And then he realised that throw was to him.
It was for me, he was thinking. Now we go in the reverse. Rodriguez trying to put some pressure on Sanderson, the defender.
Oh, beautiful. That's...
Pillar Rogers.
Oh, he's going...
That's over his head. Come on, Schrader. Beautiful.
Johnny's giggling there. He knows that... there's only a few players in Ultimate that can execute that throw as well as Pillar Rogers.
And that's old school Flinders. Pillar Rogers to Schrader as half-time overtakes us 8-5. We thank you for staying with us for this first half. We will be back after a few short messages and some replays. Thank you very much.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Hi, welcome back to Adelaide Super League 15. My name's John Perkins. I'm here with Field Shields. We've got the second half on the way. I'd just like to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. We got Double Happiness for the uniforms, the player sport merch, and the uniforms that are there here tonight. They look fantastic, and it just looks so much better to see everyone in sync. Also to give a shout out to Peak, who helped paid for the uniforms as well. They're doing a fundraiser, help for Hayley. It's still open till Christmas. Hayley's a wonderful person who whose parents goes to Peak, and it's just such a sad, tragic story, and giving a bit of happiness to someone who's really struggling. So if you want to find out more about that, please go to Peak's Instagram page and give them a shout.
Yes, very worthwhile cause there. Thank you, Peak Performance. Out at Port Adelaide here in Adelaide, South Australia, which is where Super League 15 is being brought to you from, thanks to the live cast by ULTI.TV, one of the premier players in the ultimate broadcasting arena worldwide.
All right, we're here the second half. Also, ULTI.TV, I've been watching the indoor ultimate. They've also been live streaming that in Europe.
The European Championships. Yeah.
It's been quite fun to watch.
Edgeworth goes streaking along under.
What happened there?
I missed that. I was watching the deep cut by Edgeworth. Meanwhile, Pillar Rogers
sends one to Greg Schroeder.
I'm not surprised at that. We mentioned it early on, Baddock's heavy-handedness there. And you can see here on the replay, Schrader has position. And look at that. Straight into his back. That has to be called.
I would argue that's really good boxing, but at the same time,
let's look at it again.
Did he use his hip and shoulder?
He leans into him. Almost falls into him. It's, I think, for my mind, and I'm happy to get involved in this as a commentator. Please write in the comment section here on this live cast as well what your thoughts are. That was just a bit more than incidental.
I'm gonna find it.
And it looks like looks like Baddock's has actually conceded.
All right, here we go. Oh! Oh! Disc doesn't like.
The ultimate gods have spoken.
At least everyone's having a good laugh of it. All right, here we go. Sando. That's just something Southside have done really well. They've just swung the disc side to side really well this game.
Smith
puts Baddix in a power position. Baddix launching. He's got Johnny on Pillar Rogers. Oh!
Yeah, my money was on Pillar Rogers there all the time. Again, would have liked to see him grab the disc rather than push it forward.
But, you know, sometimes you get in a position where that's the only choice, and especially with this, you know, tight. All right. Oh, it was a turn.
That's another 3 fantasy points for Mackenzie.
Mackenzie is having a very good game. Throw. They're just looking, trying to. Oh, Foley was there. I love this handler mark of Schroeder and Foley.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 2 big marks. It makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I like to call Schroeder Flappy Hands or Mr. Wings. He's got a really big reach.
Oh. Well, that was a great pass by Baddix, straight through his mark.
And Schroeder's let Baddix get away from him a little bit here.
All right, Warren White looking around.
Poaching the break mark.
Oh, Foster
Mackenzie
getting big.
Mackenzie with a possible
right side,
2 fantasy. Possible 2 fantasy points here.
And Smith.
I'm pretty sure I called that one. Happy about that.
This is a big
5 fantasy points. 5 fantasy points for Mackenzie there.
Yes, that's a very good point again. He's played quite a few good points tonight. All right, so East Adelaide, you know, it was actually a hold. Very important thing to remember there in Ultimate. So, you know, nothing lost, but, you know, I think Southside look at the way they played defense and, you know, didn't look like, especially they literally had it right in front of the end zone and they managed to get the turn and then work it the way down and they got the turn again.
Of course, gone.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you'd be feeling pretty good. Southside played some good defense when required, but they also played some really stellar offense. That swing where they get from one side to the other has been so deadly for them. Also, when Baddix just cuts up the line, they put him into power position. They just get that disc moving, and East Adelaide kind of just look lost.
Absolutely, yeah. And, of course, Riptide needing to get that one. They did want to get an extra point in before half-time. Were unable to do that with 2 end-zone throwaways. So they really needed that one to keep themselves in this game, I feel. Score at 9-5 would have been such a different scenario. It would have been a 4-point difference rather than 2. 2 feels under these conditions much more gettable given the windy conditions.
Yeah, but 4. Ooh, it's rough beds. All right. East Adelaide have rallied pretty well. They haven't really been in the middle of being bogged or not.
It's got a lovely float on it.
How good is Pillar Rogers? That's 4 assists, isn't
I'm
it?
going to say Fig Jam. That's just Pillar Rogers for my peace of mind. His pinpoint accuracy, as we see it here again, Ogden holstering that throw because Pillar Rogers thought he was free, but dang straight on the mark. But as soon as he gets that, essentially a power position from the hip, mind you, all the way to the end zone. That's just fantastic. Look.
Oh, my gosh. That's literally the perfect throw. Like, there's nothing as a defense. You just kind of just look at that and go, all right, let's reset. That was good. There's not much we can do. Let's go and play this next one.
Yeah, so I think we've seen the perfect upwind throw from Pillar Rogers and the perfect downwind throw from Pillar Rogers, both of them to score.
But most importantly, that's another 2 fantasy points with him, which I'm pretty sure puts him at 4 assists.
Yeah, and likewise, actually, the one before I mentioned that was upwind was also to Foley. So a couple of scores there from Pillar Rogers to Foley.
So if you want some interesting stats, I suggest Southside go, well, Pillar Rogers are clearly looking for Foley in the end zone. They probably should do a better job of marking him.
Yeah, Sang was all over him in the first half, but let him get away a little bit. Maybe a bit of complacency. Maybe Pillar Rogers has learnt a little bit from what Sang was doing. But they do need to put a bit of a full stop on this Pillar Rogers momentum.
100%. It's Pillar Rogers to Foley they just need to do something about it. Whether that means they maybe need to play a bracket and stop just Foley just cutting deep and abusing it, but it's all right. Southside now have offense to focus on.
That comes back to something you mentioned at the beginning of this game, because we did mention the wind, that we thought we'd see some zone, but we have not seen any zone yet.
I actually think East Adelaide, with the players they have, are probably one of the better teams to equip with the zone. They've got lots of tall players that they can hit. They've got lots of big throwers who can throw all sorts of throws.
Maddox again.
Oh, see, that's just Southside's bread and butter this game. Their
magic.
swinging has just been impeccable. It's been really, really hard to stop. It's put lots of pressure on the defense.
Schrader looking upfield to see what he can take away. Meanwhile, Maddox over the top.
Oh.
Foster tries, but Lace has the better read and position.
It's just nailed it again. So again, not much you can really do. Like, that's just, as I said, they've just got to do something about these swings. I think Southside have just swung the disc to the top and then just find a spot in the end zone.
Yeah, we see then again, just a nice attempt by Foster to try and get the D, but unable to.
No, what can I say? What can I say? But Slace has got quite the jump.
Bada boom, bada bang. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Here we go, East Adelaide. Pressure's on, you know. As the holding team, you know, the pressure's always on, even when you've got the lead, because you're expected to put the disc in. They understand that people like Joel, you just need to put pressure. You need to put pressure on Fowler. You need to put pressure on Pillar Rogers, because they're right now just controlling the game. They're just Rogers getting in power position, finding Foley in the deep space. As a defensive team, you need to be aware of when that's happening and really try and give as much help as you can.
Yeah. Now, with a little over 20 minutes of play left, this is what really separates the experienced players from the novice players. Is the mental game, because both teams have in their hand that the team that's ahead is thinking, we could lose it from here possibly, or we could win it. Now, depending on which thought process you have, obviously dictates a bit of your play style. And similar from the team that's in the defensive position this time. It's Riptide with lagging by 2 points, 7-9. They're thinking, if we give Force another point, then we're really in the hole. So we really need to get it to put the pressure back on them. This is the mind games that are going on.
Well, and actually, I think East Adelaide, I wouldn't say this to their faces, arguably the oldest team in the competition.
Yeah, your secret's safe with me and all our viewers. So keep going.
So I actually think this is where they will really come. Is this a zone?
Is this our first zone look?
Yeah, this is a zone look. They're playing a 3-3-1.
I have a feeling their coach, Ben Powley, is tied into our commentary. He would have heard us mention that, and
it's called it. This is where I reckon they've got to understand. Oh,
well, that was too easy.
All right, they've gone to match now. It was a nice little switchy thing, just to have a look to see what would happen. Oh, look at that swing.
Who's got the disc?
Oh,
Who's got the disc?
He's got it.
Who caught the disc? Was
that
Rodrigo?
Oh, it's down.
Oh, he's calling himself down. That was a pity.
That was... Did it just die?
It died, yeah. The wind to our backs. It was always going to die, but I thought it had enough on it.
All right, here we go. Evanada's putting the pressure. Oh, this pick cool. All right. Oh. All right.
So first fantasy loss points for Pillar Rogers there, -1 for the throwaway.
Yes. But, you know, he's got, I think, 2 Ds? 1 D. My 1 D, 4 assists and a goal.
Yeah.
You're still not too upset yet.
No. Travel called. Seng brings it back.
Oh, that is...
Baddocks.
He keeps it up. Edgeworth very free. That was a good switch. But Edgeworth reads it like a book.
Baddocks celebrates.
That's really big. Southside. And timeout being called. Coach Fowler just gone.
On the field. Here's a timeout.
Timeout. Timeout has been called. We'll quickly be back
to you after these messages.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
All right.
See this again.
Good. Look at this. This is a really good throw. He heard the travel call, but still set himself up to get in a power position. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Gets his hand underneath the disc, really key. Now, I actually really like this switch by East Adelaide, but you have to remember to set the force very quickly if you're going to do that.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, the thrower will throw it wherever he wants.
Yeah, one-on-one situations like that in the end zone, very hard to take away everything, especially with experienced handlers like these.
Yes. All right. So what do you reckon? What do you reckon Southside is saying in the huddle right now? You know, they've just got a break.
Look and see their faces. Malhotra's happy. Lace really wants concentration and effort. Edgeworth just sitting back there on the edge there. Mackenzie's thinking about what he needs to do. Sanderson knows what he needs to do. Smith is there just practicing. So this is, yep, I'll listen to Mr. Lace. Baddocks knows what he needs to do from there. So does Warren White, which leaves Deng. And again, he's been very secure in that defensive position. So they've each got their role.
And they just understand that they need to continue doing what they're doing and put pressure on this East Adelaide side. Now, Joel Pillar going upwind, you know, as I said. I think a lot of East Adelaide's goals tonight have been East Adelaide just looking for their taller players down deep and just trying to punt it either 40, 30 metres out and not really thinking about trying to just work it up. I'm not sure if that's just what Southside have set or that's just the way they're going to play. They do have a height advantage over the other team by quite a bit. So that also can play into their hands. But now with this upwind point, this will be difficult.
Yeah.
They won't be able to just set themselves up and put themselves in power position and just go bang.
Do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Pillar Rogers with another execution, perfect execution into the wind. That would just put an exclamation mark on this point for them.
Well, we were literally saying he's probably the most important person in East Adelaide's team today, and he's come out with 4 assists, a block, and a goal.
That's right.
So we've not been far off.
No. Ogden's gone a bit missing, I feel, in the handler space for East Adelaide. What are your thoughts?
I think he's been more of a he's been the one that's been hitting the unders a lot. I think it's been more focused on playing the unders. He did try a couple of long passes, just not quite worked out. But I think he's actually played quite well.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And in essence, it's almost been a switch up from the last 2 weeks from this East Adelaide team, where Pillar Rogers has taken a back seat, which is why a lot of people have been saying pulling him out of their fantasy team because he hasn't been doing the assists. He hasn't been doing a lot of work as such. Now Ogden's giving Pillar Rogers the limelight.
Which has actually been quite nice. All right, now again, zone into match, which has been quite good for them.
Pick.
Yeah, that's definitely
that was
pick.
obvious. Goes back for no catch up.
Yeah, I just want to catch up, I think. Just everyone catching their breath, setting themselves up. I like this matchup with Joel on...
Oh, just see that front strap. gives the slip from Sanderson and just stands there for like an eternity. Says, please give it to me. Pick called. Chow free. Foster with the disc. Here we see that again. Foster up the line. Mackenzie on the mark. Big wings.
He's going to look straight for Joel here. I reckon Joel's going to try and get up the line.
Ryan White will try and get in his way.
Inside, Foley's cutting there. Ryan White, he's looking. Oh, peak hammer. Perfect hammer, actually. The wind's actually settled.
Sometimes it picks up, sometimes it dies. At the moment, it's just died, and as I say, it's dying. You can sort of feel it picking up marginally, but yeah, it has settled a bit. Which
I think's going to decide this game. I reckon, especially with East Adelaide, I reckon they haven't still quite, outside Joel, they haven't quite been very great with their throws.
Pillar Rogers directing traffic as he likes to do from that handler position. Easy, give
East
go.
Adelaide have used their bodies really well to keep the other team boxed out of any plays on any of these discs here.
Will Foster get 2 points?
Yes, he will. That is beautiful.
2 fantasy points, that is. Foster to Schrader. See this again on the replay. Talk us through what you see here, Mr. Perkins.
Well, what I see is Foley looking up the line. What I actually really like here is Foster realised his defender wasn't really playing too much on him, and Greg Schroeder did the best. What you're taught very early is if you're going to cut in the end zone, you cut straight to the bottom corner. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, you'll get yourself free. And the defender did not follow him all the way to the bottom corner, and there he was free.
Straight as an arrow, as fast as you can.
Honestly. First cut, as long as it's full, powerful, 100%, you're going to get the disc more times than not. Every now and then, your defender will be on you, but sometimes it just doesn't work like that. All right, here we go. East Adelaide, that's a big point. That was into the wind as well. Well, of what little wind there was. As I said, I think the wind's died down, which actually could play a little bit into how these defenses start looking throws. As I say that, it's just picked up a little bit. So, I don't know, yeah. It's inconsistent wind, which is really annoying as a thrower. Because 1 minute you're like, oh, yeah, I can throw this throw next in it. Like, you realise you can't. All right, here we go. Southside. Just Johnny giving his final words of advice.
This goes up.
All right.
It's a nice pull,
but
it could be out the back.
Oh, that's out the back.
Way out the back.
Too many Weet-Bix, as they say.
Bit of vitamin iron in the muscles.
All right. Again, Foley and Greg on the mark, on the handler mark. As I said, I think they're almost cooled down to be on the 2 handlers, if there are there.
Number 5, Schrader on the mark defensively.
Oh! I was getting excited there for very little reason by the sounds of it.
See Baddock's like, ouch, that hurt.
Oh, I was excited. I always love a good hand block. I think hand block is arguably the best block in Frisbee.
Is this the end of Baddock's game? He did get a bit of a bang on that.
Whoa, that's a foul. Just returning the favour.
Yeah, Baddock's is just saying, look, I just wanted you to know how I felt. That's really all. So, someone's got a hand cut out.
All right, here we go.
Another one's
Third time lucky, I believe.
Out. This time a real force.
Lovely. Up. Oh!
Well, Hotra calls for it.
Oh!
Gives Meinenberg a whiff, but not enough.
And that is why you always chase your players. And chase the disc.
Yeah. Yeah, never ever give up, no matter what aspect of life you're living at the moment, no matter what domain of life you're living, never ever give up is my big number 1 tip to you.
Yes. All right. So, and Southside are really showing that, actually. They're really playing really aggressive. Even then, everyone chasing the disc down, and that just gave them the easy option, pass, done.
And look, we're back within 1. 1 point splits both of these teams.
All right. Ooh. I'm nervous actually. I'm not
It's
sure which
exciting,
way.
isn't
Yes,
it?
yes. I'm not quite sure. I was sure that East Adelaide would settle, but
80-minute game. Sorry, I thought 90 minutes, but it's an 80-minute game.
it's all good. Let's climb out. So it's this one plus one. So we could get a game to 12. We could get a game to 11.
But we will finish this point first to determine that.
Yes. I'm a big believer in the way East Adelaide are playing. As I said, if the wind dies down, I think East Adelaide will probably cruise. Their throws are definitely being better when there's no wind. But I'm a bit worried if as soon as that headwind picks up and if they're throwing to the wind, they might be in a bit of strife. Here we go. This is what we all want. Saying, oh, great pickup by Schroeder. He's not just made it. Pillar Rogers has not made it easy.
Oh, did you see those opportunities missed?
Or what some might say.
Schrader gets away with blue murder.
Oh.
Speaking of murder, Rodriguez murdered that disc straight into the hands of, was it Chow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. It's Evernardis, wasn't it?
Was it? Sorry, everyone noticed.
Evernardis,
My mistake.
Yeah, Schroeder straight to Evernardis here.
This is the one that Schrader got away with.
One, two. Oh. That's what you call good effort on D.
I call it luck.
Oh, and then we got Foley. Oh yeah, look at that.
Rodriguez,
To
yes, Chow.
Chow.
Everyone
Yeah.
artist is at the back there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the throw or the lucky throw.
Okay, I was making stuff up.
All right, here we go. All right, Blue are super under pressure now. They've got to understand they've got to score this and then play another point.
Now, I'm hoping this is going to drag on a bit because I want to just mention that we have a ripper of a game coming up in a matter of minutes after this one. So stay tuned. We have West Beach Titans in red versus the Northern Flyers, captained by Sean Davis in white. And we're getting a glimpse of the double happiness uniforms there. What do you think of those?
I actually like the red. I think the red could probably have a bit more of a design on it, personally. But I understand that red is also the worst colour to wear in Ultimate because there's only so much you can do, because if you add too much, it becomes dark. If you don't add enough, it becomes a light.
Yep, true. The white is
I think white's the best uniform.
Yeah,
I'm not
you like
biased.
that?
I didn't play for Northern Flyers last year, but you know, I think I actually really like the Northern Flyers uniform.
Yeah. So we've got that game coming up. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we've got Andy Baddocks. Did he touch that? He says no.
That is a Gaddington bull if I've ever seen one. Oh, a bit of a cricket reference there,
Go
but
for the VAR. Here we go. This is when we need.
that was a leg break if I've ever seen one.
And
Look, yeah,
look
no
at that.
idea.
That's a wrong one gone wrong.
It's hard to tell from here. We don't
We
have
don't have hotspot.
We don't have hotspot.
Powley, the team captain for Black,
Always trying to get
for
involved.
The VAR. Looking forward to getting hotspot technology in Ultimate.
And you can do that by subscribing to ULTI.TV and for one coffee a month on their Patreon. And you know, the more money to ULTI.TV, the more we can get with technology.
Buy yourself a big 100-inch TV. Get right up close to it, so you can see the perspiration on the people's faces as this HD broadcast is brought to you. Baddocks late. Oh, the disc just took that one as it hits the corner cone. Here we see on the replay again.
Just probably didn't get quite the right angle on that throw. Again, he was trying to throw in the same half. We've talked about this.
Exactly, rule of thirds.
Rule of
exactly
thirds.
In my mind.
Just Warren White was close to that one. Up.
Here we go.
Up.
Sean
Lace
Lace,
right
Mr.
onto
Experienced.
Oh, it's not in. It's not in. Foster with the absolute.
It's got it
Control,
all.
and it's done.
Foster give go. Up in the air. Comes back down. Foster is the winner of this match.
Foster with the box. Oh, wow. That was great boxing there from Foster. And then, whoop. Schroeder.
Bubble, 2, 3, 4.
There was 4 defenders there.
And 4 bubbles. Each one of them could have got that away from Schroeder, but they didn't. So
what a game.
East Adelaide Force 12, Southside Riptide 9. We thank you for your time, for listening to us, watching this live cast brought to you by ULTI.TV, Peak Performance and Double Happiness. Stay tuned. We will be back shortly. Bring your friends. Have a watch party. I'm Phil Shields.
I'm John Perkins. Thank you for joining us.
ULTI.TV.